Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we shine the spotlight on one of the Dominion's oldest warriors. A tank who doesn't just stand still and block damage, but dives headfirst into the enemy lines, scattering formations, disrupting timings, and breaking battles apart. A hero feared by many and underestimated by others. Today, we're talking about Luther, the Dominion's legendary demon hunter. We'll go through his skills, how to build him properly with items, skins, glyphs, artifacts, the gift of the elements, and talismans. And of course, we'll talk about the teams he works with and how you can counter him effectively. By the end of this guide, you'll know exactly how to handle Luther, whether you're building him for your army or facing him on the battlefield. Luther begins with his first skill, called Sentence. With this, he stuns nearby enemies while dealing damage at the same time. The power of this skill depends on both his physical attack stat and its level. Against enemies higher than level 120, the chance to stun is reduced, but when it works, the impact is massive. Imagine a tank that doesn't just protect his allies but actually shuts down the enemy team's rhythm. Every time Luther lands this stun, the opposing side loses momentum, loses energy generation, and opens a window for his allies to strike. Heroes like Artemis benefit even more because every stun from Luther triggers her smart arrow, adding bursts of damage into the chaos. His second skill is Omen, and this one is a showstopper. Luther leaps deep into the enemy formation, crashing down and damaging those around him. More importantly, it drags the attention of Position 2 and Position 3 heroes. That means the enemy formation is flipped upside down. If Krista is in the second spot, she'll suddenly waste her skill in the wrong direction. If Jorgen is in the middle, his energy manipulation will miss its true targets. And if Dorian is sitting in the third row, his aura will no longer protect the backline because they've been pushed out of range. This is what makes Omen so dangerous. It doesn't just deal damage, it wrecks the positioning of the enemy team. His third skill is Gehenna. After leaping with Omen, Luther slams down with a fiery wave, damaging and stunning the enemies in front of him. Once again, the stun chance is reduced against enemies above level 120, but when it lands, it's devastating. This is where Luther chains his control together, a leap, followed by a fiery stun that locks down backline threats. Heroes like Polaris can be completely neutralized if stunned at the right time. And as with his first skill, every stun feeds Artemis, turning her into a relentless arrow machine. Finally, his fourth skill is Doctrine of Faith. This one is simple but extremely important. It increases Luther's magic defense, making him more resilient against heavy mage teams. Remember, Luther isn't just a tank that soaks physical damage, his kit is designed to let him survive when diving into the thick of enemy fire, and that includes surviving against magic bursts. Now let's talk about how to build him properly. Luther is a tank hero, part of the Way of Honor faction, and he stands right at the front of the team. His job is not just to soak damage, but to disrupt the enemy formation, control their timing, and open gaps for his allies to finish the fight. When it comes to rank items, your focus should be on armor and health. During the Violet stages, equipment like the Executioner's Sword, the Governor, and the Cosmic Tremor give him the durability he needs. Once you move into the orange ranks, the Blued Plate Armor, Unity of Extremes, and Evil Genius Cuirass become his best friends. Reaching Orange +3 or +4, equipment levels 14 and 15, ensures Luther has the stats to survive and perform his disruptive role properly during mid-game. Without these, he simply won't last long enough to make an impact. Now, let's look at his skins. Luther has 7 available. The default strength skin, 1 for physical attack, 2 for armor, 1 for health, 1 for magic defense, and 1 for toughness. The priority here is crystal clear. Start with his armor skin, because it's the most reliable way to protect him against the constant physical damage he'll face. If you have access to the second armor skin, upgrade that next. After that, go for the health skin, because health makes him tougher against all damage types. The toughness skin comes next, because once his health drops below 50%, it reduces incoming damage by a percentage, keeping him alive even longer. Then you can upgrade the default strength skin, which scales both his health and his earlier skills. The magic defense skin comes after, useful against heavy mage teams, and finally the physical attack skin, which is the least important for his role but still adds value when facing enemies with low armor. If he ever gets another skin for armor or health, make it your top priority, because survival is his #1 job. Moving on to Glyphs. Luther's 5 glyphs are for physical attack, health, magic defense, armor, and strength. The first you should upgrade is armor, giving him resilience against physical damage early in mid-game. After that, raise health, which keeps him standing longer. Then focus on strength, since it scales both his health and the power of his first 3 skills. Magic defense comes next, to help him stand against mages, and finally physical attack, which is the least impactful but still helps him punish low armor enemies. Raise all glyphs to level 40 for a balanced mid-game build, and only go higher if you're chasing skill classes. Artifacts are a vital part of Luther's build. His weapon artifact grants bonus armor to the team whenever he uses his first skill. His book artifact boosts both armor and magic defense, and his ring artifact raises his strength, his main stat. Prioritize the book artifact first, because boosting both armor and magic defense massively improves his ability to survive. After that, upgrade his weapon artifact, because giving the entire team extra armor is incredibly valuable in drawn-out fights. The ring comes last, since it boosts his main stat but is less impactful compared to the direct defensive boosts from his book and weapon. When it comes to the gift of the elements, max it out. Every point of strength and physical bonus goes straight into his survivability. Tanks like Luther without proper gift investment crumble too fast, and Luther absolutely needs to survive to get his dive and chain stuns off. Now let's discuss talismans. Luther's first talisman is strength and health. His second is physical attack and toughness. Both are excellent, and non-VIP, and they're fairly easy to get. If you have them, use them both. They give him more durability and make his disruption style even stronger. Without them, Luther still works fine, but with them, he becomes much harder to deal with. Now comes one of the most interesting questions: how do you counter Luther? Because if he dives into your team unchecked, he can tear your formation apart. The best answer is faceless. With his power throw, he can hurl Luther right back into his own team and stun him, neutralizing the disruption completely. Cascade is also a strong answer. If positioned in the 4th or 5th spot, Cascade can use Tidal Wave to push Luther back into his formation, undoing his dive. Fox with her heavy caliber can do the same, throwing him straight back to where he came from. Maya's poisonous bonds entangles him and pulls him back to his own side as well. In general, control-heavy teams can deny Luther before he chains his skills. If you stop his first combo, his impact drops dramatically. So Guardians, Luther is not always considered a top-tier tank, but he has a unique and valuable role. He is the disruptor, the formation breaker, the tank who doesn't just defend but actively destroys the rhythm of enemy teams. With the right items, skins, glyphs, and artifacts, Luther can carve a place in your team as the warrior who dives into danger and comes back stronger. What do you think about Luther? Have you tested him in your own lineups? Do you use him as your frontline disruptor, or do you find him more of a situational pick? Let me know in the comments, I'll be reading them all. And if this guide helped you, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Olympus Alliance, and ring the bell so you never miss a single guide, breakdown, or strategy we release. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.